Many people unmuted? Okay. Anybody else? Just us? Okay. So it's 7:04. I'm Brian Murphy, Chair of the Land Steward Woodward Subcommittee, and I call this meeting of the Land Steward Subcommittee to order. Members present are Chris, Shane. I don't know why you're not on my list. Guess because you weren't here last time. Alex, and myself. For this meeting, the Land Steward Woodward Subcommittee is convening in person or by telephone, Zoom, or web conference as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join. Please note this meeting is being recorded. Accordingly, please be aware other participants may be able to hear you, and anything you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All participants should keep their phones or microphones muted unless recognized by me. I guess if we have a vote in here, we can do a voice vote because we're all present. We don't have to do a roll call vote. This is a public hearing and comment is permitted. I will call on each speaker to address the working group. If you wish to address the group, please click on the raised hand icon or ask to speak by posting a request in the chat feature. Please identify yourself at the start of your remarks. Members of the community may speak if called upon, but they are limited to 3 minutes each, which, being that this is mainly a public input hearing, we may extend those times, I assume. Okay. So the first thing is the meeting minutes approval. And Chris, you started to say that the 11/25 was previously approved in a prior.
Yeah, we did at least 2 sets of meeting minutes at the last meeting. So the first 2, it must have been the 25th and the 8th.
Okay. And then
So
we have the 18th.
18th, which is, and you sent out the
did anybody get, I know you were
I
away.
didn't get any
Did you
comments.
to look?
No, I looked at the minutes too, so now I'm fine with it.
Okay.
just fine.
Shane, did you look?
Sorry.
They're awesome.
They're awesome. They're amazing.
I
No,
really
your
like,
name is not Claudia.
I really like your font. It was a really good font. Shane, did you get to look? Are you looking now? At the minutes?
Did you put them on the line, online? I didn't see them.
They were
You emailed them.
emailed.
Brian emailed them out.
No.
I don't think I got them.
Okay. So, I guess we'll put off the 18th and it was wishful thinking. Chris thought maybe he would get to some others, but I will make sure that the 11/25 and 12/8 are posted.
You can put the as draft, right, on our website.
No,
You can't put the drafts on?
no, they have to be approved minutes. I don't know why that is, but I believe that's the rule. Yeah. So just a quick introduction, this meeting, and I guess everybody's been let in. This is a continuation of the meetings we're having for the Land Steward Woodward Subcommittee. This one, the goal is to take public input from anybody who wants to make comments. And we'll spend quite a bit of time getting whatever input you'd like to give us. Meanwhile, and the next meeting would be with the stakeholders of the town committees. That'll be on the 9th. But this one is really to take any public input from anybody. And hopefully it worked out better this time. A notice went out. Hopefully everybody was aware of the meeting. Obviously the people here must have been, but and before that, I just want to take any quote unquote public comments. So this isn't the feedback we're going to be getting from all of you in a little bit after Chris has something to say. This is just if there's any public comment that needs to be brought up in advance. So, if so, I turn over to the public if anybody wants to raise their hand or say anything. Okay, hearing none, I'm gonna turn it over to Chris. Chris,
Got a few things, and this is just, you know, so I can speak to something. I've got my notes written down for you. And if you take control if you don't mind.
I don't mind. I would have rather we had these in advance, but.
It's all draft, so I can borrow a few extra copies for
Okay.
guests, but nobody's here.
Yeah, and
So-
will you email this to me so I can?
There's a proposal in here too on how to control this.
How to control what?
I'll get to it.
Okay.
Let's see that.
So,
And by
you're kind of putting the town seal and making this look like an official document, but this is your individual opinion,
it
correct?
is. We can take that off, all of this stuff. So if, just let me get through it, we can comment, you know, anything like that. Take notes as you go. If I can get through it quick, happy to, we'll revisit and take any comments people have.
Okay,
So,
I only mention it because in Warren's document about Foss Farm, he kind of labeled it as LSC and people said that wasn't appropriate.
okay.
So.
Okay. That's fine. So, what I want to present here and the purpose of this really is to sort of level set where we are, and summarize all the work we've done to date, with the Woodward license agreement, right? So that's the main reason I've put this together and want to present it here, is to just show where I think we've been and some of the issues that we've identified. And again, if I missed any, you know, we'll get to the comment section, or if we want to change anything, that's fine. So it's just a first attempt. There's a secondary motive here. And again, we can discuss this, or, you know, as a way to do this or not, right? So I'm not, but, you know, as a subcommittee, we need a final product, right? And I thought this might be a good way to, as we start going through the issues, to sort of track our progress with the issues, write down, you know, possible ideas to solve them, and you know, edit. So the proposal will be, and you know, at the end, we don't have to discuss it now, but to edit this document each time we want to work on an issue, and track it here basically. And each time we do this, I'll freeze the document, use revision control. It will be a PDF for each date that we change it. And then at the end, we'll have a final product that we could present to the LSC, full LSC, or other committees and boards. So the main purpose of the first two, to sort of level set everybody and look at the issues we've already captured. The third one is a proposal we can talk about after. Again, this is just an example. Going forward, if we decide to do it this way, I'll have sort of a revision history page so that we can keep track of things. I included here a map of the property that we're talking about. This is from our EIS Carlisle map program. And it shows basically all the lots of interest for the Woodward property that we'll talk about, and the labels that we're using to talk about it. Like the 10-4 open space, a little tough to read with the pink on there, but 3-B, 10-3-B2, 10-3-B1, 10 and 10-3-1.
That's private.
Yes. And then 10-4-OS. So Just for reference, we can come back to that if there are questions. It's just good to have in here. And I tried to put a little bit of background history. You know, the native plant restoration and nursery ag license was posted in the Mosquito on April 11th, 2025. Grow Native from Massachusetts was granted a 5-year ag license by a vote of the LSC on May 6th, 2025. And what I put in the document here are links to these things that I went back and I made sure I knew the location of them. That's been a struggle for everybody, including me, trying to find, you know, where these things are. The ag license was dated and signed on May 13th, 2025, and I've got a link to the first link to the license agreement is on the town website. It's missing page 5 of the CR, but I included another link where you corrected that in our records, right? So I think there's still an action item there that we should keep track of, is that the one on the town website is missing a page.
So I'm sorry, you said we eventually corrected it. Do you
No,
know?
we have a complete one on our website, but the town website is still missing page 5.
But, so you're saying the Google Docs for LSC is correct, but
Yes.
Okay.
We have a complete document on our website, which is the second link. The first link is the town website, which is, I should have, and just remind me at the end, I can change the words to that. We have a supplemental document that I guess is not with the license agreement. It doesn't seem attached to the website or anything, but I put a link to the supplemental document to the license agreement here as well.
And sorry, can I ask, is that on the town website or only in our?
In our website.
Okay.
That link is out. So we received considerable feedback from the town residents, town boards, both on the content of the license and the process we use to issue the ag license. No secrets there. The Woodward Subcommittee was formed to collect and investigate the feedback on the license from all interested parties and develop and recommend solutions and amendments to the license as necessary. The report back to the full LSC for adoption of the license. Any recommendations to the license, any changes to the license agreement. So just a little bit about where we've been from a subcommittee and a process. We've had a series of meetings, you know, for the subcommittee at the kickoff. We proposed a series of meetings. We've got a website for our meeting packets. Many of the links on the previous page go into those meeting packets to dig out some of the documents. So here are the dates of the
Can I ask
meetings
something
today.
about that? Because I'm afraid we're going to confuse people, and that's that, you know, I keep reposting, for example, the license, right?
Yeah.
And so we have it on our website, I guess you're calling it, you know, 5 different times. But my concern is that everything may not be at the same revision. I mean, you're talking about doing sort of a source control revision on this, but I'm just concerned that we confuse people.
Right. So that was the purpose of these other links, is to make sure they had the right document, right? There are 2 different, you know, if you go to the town website, you get one that's missing a page, but I tried to go to the latest and made sure that they were the latest. They're PDF files, so they wouldn't have been changed. Yeah. So you're right about the supplemental document is the PDF that's on that latest.
When you said the latest website, which
They're in the meeting. So this meeting packet,
of the meeting packet.
they're in the meeting packets at some point. I put them in, you know, we have them in the meeting packets. We don't have all our documents, and I can get to that, and maybe we can fix some of that as well.
But before you do, should we make sure that the town LSC website, not the meeting packet, has
I don't know
everything.
of any other website. We could build a special folder there and put all the documents on the website, but maybe that's a comment for afterwards.
Okay.
Some ideas.
Yep.
So here are the meetings we've had. It turns out we approved the November 25th and the December 8th meeting minutes. You sent out the 18th meeting minutes, and the 5th and the 12th is still pending.
Yep.
And the 18th are in draft, and apologies, they're not. The other ones aren't posted. We can talk about that. Help me get those on posted. So just from the feedback itself that we've got, I took a crack at sort of separating them into 3 different categories. We've got technical issues with the license itself. We've got issues with the LSC process employed to get to the license. And we've got some issues, I'd say, of a non-technical nature. And again, we can debate those, whether technical, non-technical, but, typos and things like that, I've got recorded in the 3rd section. Right?
So I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt to break your flow, but for example, Alex built a large document
We get to
regarding
that. We'll get to that.
but I'm just wondering, where should we be?
Well, we've got documents that are listing comments on a duplicate. So I've tried to go through all of the documents and make sure I've captured all of the comments. And part of this process, I hope, is that, just one set of eyes looking at overall the material that we've gathered. And I just want to make sure I haven't missed anything or haven't worded something incorrectly for folks. That, if it doesn't actually capture the problem. And I'll show you that.
Okay.
So, I just want to say the main focus of our subcommittee is to look at the technical issues with the license agreement. I've got them all summarized here, at least my first cut at those technical issues. We can go back. This is not a final draft by any means. We can add to them, we can revise them, but this is just a first pass at them. All of these need some further discussion to resolve. Some are easy and obvious, and I've taken a couple of stabs at those just to show as an example of this. And again, these are proposals, not definitive decisions by the committee. We probably can identify some open actions that need to be identified to resolve some of these issues. And we can use the pages and the documents to sort of explore possible paths. Or just, I was hoping to go through every one and think about possible paths, but I didn't want to get too far ahead of everything ahead of us. So this is really just a first pass at this. Issues, I've got a page with the non-technical issues also documented here. So again, so we can keep track of them, make sure as we're making edits that we keep track of them. As far as process issues, I know there's been many, and recognize that in many of those process issues are sort of intertwined with the technical issues. So my proposal here, again, just proposal, is that we document some of those here for report back to the full committee. I don't know we have a lot of time to try to resolve all of those things as a subcommittee, but I think we should at least document some of those. Try not to spend too much time because they do tend to bog us down a bit. I think, and maybe rightly or wrongly so, it's fine. And so I do have sort of an appendix. That's again what the proposal is. Page. Okay, so the next page is again, the documents I used to reference some of the, where I extracted some of these technical issues. And I think, and also some of the background documents, right? So I think what we can do, and I had a hard time finding some of these things, so I think maybe we should work, and I've noted the ones I couldn't find, and that we should upload them to our website.
So excuse me, the black ones are ones that don't
That's
have a
right.
link.
Right.
So
And Alex, I had your comments, but I didn't see them on our website. But again, yeah.
I don't know if I think you passed those out in paper form.
Yeah.
But I can give you
Nice to get them loaded up on so people can see. So again, I made links out of these, and hopefully we can get them all uploaded so everybody's working from the same set. And we can add to these as we progress. So I've got a little divider here, and this is really the list. What I've come up with is 14 sort of issues with the document itself, and I've broken it down a little bit fine. But
Chris, just before you pass on to that.
Yep.
The one on your reference documents, the ones you have in blue are links to documents.
yes,
And I just see you have Sue and Sam Pietropaula submittal, but I think they've made multiple submittals.
As has CCF, for example.
Yeah.
So we need to,
So I don't know if you.
so
you
this
have
was the
all of those
latest
there.
one on our site. Again, we can revisit those and capture those as well. That's true. This was I think 2 meetings ago for the subcommittee, we had a list of technical issues, or the list of comments.
and I think Margie as well gave multiple documents.
I could use help finding those and identifying where they are.
I will find them.
Okay.
John, these comments came from the town clerk.
But no, well, there were some from the ag committee, but he also read his comments to us at the last. I've been focusing on this subcommittee, and John came to our subcommittee meeting and read his comments, the record. You asked him for a hard copy. I don't know if he gave it to you or if he emailed them to you.
I don't think either, but he also had 2 prior sets of comments that the first one, the clerk had and went to another Brian Murphy, so we never saw them for a while. But there's probably 3 sets of documents from him, a couple from Margie. So and Sam gave a couple sets, so we'll have to sort that out.
Okay. Yeah. And it may contain some additional things that we should identify here. So again, I've listed them here, numeric, I put numbers on them. There's no particular order to any of these. It's sort of as I identify them. I think I put issue number 1 here as the most important, because we don't own that land. And I separated it from the
Sorry.
4 OS one.
It is town owned land.
No, not the,
The
Not the dash one.
The butter. Okay, yeah,
Yes.
okay.
and the lot 10 for OS is not included. So I put those as separate issues because I think they're really separate. They can be separate resolutions.
But that's not true because it's been licensed. The 10 for OS has been licensed.
And I'm not, so the point of the list is
Yeah.
to just show the issues, not to resolve them.
Okay,
Not for discussion, just to,
okay.
and make sure folks looking at this now or later on will get this on our website. It's kind of a circular reference, so I reference, here's where all our documents are, but it's not gonna be able to find them. But so, yeah, the first lot, the abutter lot, shouldn't be on there. 10-4 open space is not in the license, and we, the ones in black, we haven't really started that process of how do we resolve them. We've just sort of identified them. But the ones in red with the asterisk, these are the ones that I thought as a committee, we seem to come to a general consensus. And if that's not the case, that's fine too, but I just wanted to show them as an example.
I think, I think based upon our conversation with our native, 7 and 8.
You tell me if people are waiting.
Oops.
Red Star category.
I'm sorry, can you, I don't want my job here.
No, I was just commenting that among the reds, you could probably include 7 and 8.
Oh.
Based upon what the Grow Native told us.
Right. Right.
That they don't hear about it.
Right. Okay. I didn't want to go too far with the things that were resolved. I'll just read down this, should the owner be the Conscom, not the town of Carlisle? I think the owner of record, if you look at the deeds, says the Conservation Commission of Carlisle. So,
I'm sorry, so you're saying that's incorrect in the license?
in the license.
Not-
These are issues with the license.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Question raised on the authority to issue the license, whether it's LSC versus Conscom. A lot of these came from Alex's. The porta potties we've discussed quite a bit. I've made that an asterisk because we don't think they're allowed by the CR. Nobody seems to find a spot for them anyway, so there's no desire for them, and it seems like an easy one to resolve. Dog leashes, we talked about that a little bit, about the enforceability by the licensee. Parking was an issue. It has been an issue we talked about, and where can it was parked for the, working on that. Large educational events and field trips, we talked a little about that. I think the genesis of that was maybe from the request for proposal, and I think maybe we need to dig some of those documents up. There's no CR issued for lot 4 open space OS. Again, just an issue, no solution here for us just yet. Use of pesticides is an issue that I brought up at our meetings, and asked the CCF for sort of a ruling on that. And the easement, there's easements to lot 4 OS that have been brought up. Sorry about this. You ever presented on Zoom, these little bars get in your way and you can't read things. The CCF has said that we still need to understand what the easements are and what the cart path and all of that means to the property. Oh, and anyone's keeping track, my numbering system is off. I have 2 11s. The CR on lot 4-OS may take upwards of a year. We talked to CCF about that, and that they requested that we don't license that particular lot until the CR is issued. Again, just an issue, no resolution. Current access is over lot 4 OS. Again, don't know what that means, or if it can. Some of these, I think, in the end, we can combine and discuss. And one of these slides might be resolution to 11 and 12, for instance. There was a question about 5 years being an appropriate term for a license. And I think Alex, somebody was going to talk to town council about the history of that at one point. And then provisions, I sort of lumped a bunch of these together, maybe appropriate, maybe inappropriately, but the provisions in the current CR for those 2 lots, not mentioned in the license, which is keeping the fields open and mowed. We talked about that a little bit with Heather. You know, and she thought once a year was what would be required there. Yet CR requires all ag activities be consistent with conservation values. I forget where I pulled that up from. CR prohibits removal of native vegetation. And CCF approval would be required. The CR requires agricultural best practices. That's not in a license. And CR requires written approval of CCF for any construction. So there was a certain provision in there about 10 by 10 shed that I think we can probably fix. Additional guidance in Exhibit B is not strictly part of the license. So there are some issues noted on Exhibit B that I've also put here.
Exhibit B was the addendum to the license?
Yes, yes. The native seed bank versus bringing in plantings. On-site sales not consistent with the LSC minutes. Dog language is objectionable. I'll just put it that way. Signage likely needs CCF approval. Reporting of the activities should also include CCF in the results. And there was a question about needing legal review, and that came from Sue. And I did put in here too, and that's been brought up as lack of documentation that this is the best land use. And maybe that's a process issue, but I think we should perhaps need to explore that as, you know, I think there are references to why we're doing this and how defendable it is. So just as a quick, and I do want to wrap up here, but as an exemplar of sort of how we can go forward with some of these issues, is to look at, like, you know, I have the issues identified. You know, issue number one, we can put some discussion on these slides. It doesn't have to be one page. But this was sort of the easy one for me, the easy button, just to show my fellow committee members here, like one way to track these things in our progress towards resolution, right? You know, so some of them have a couple of issues involved, right? So this is issue number one, which is we've got the wrong lot cited there, right? So the easy solution here is take that parcel off. I think that's sort of no-brainer. But I also put in here that, you know, it's a different issue, issue number three. So you know, maybe it's a little easier than I'm making it out to be, that we could have included these together perhaps and recorded them. Again, I started to make a different slide for each issue, but before I went too far, I wanted to like show the committee what I was doing. And this is a couple of issues, you know, with the porta potties, you know, for discussions with the licensee and the CCF. They don't anticipate the need and don't really see where they could put one, and the CCF doesn't think it's allowed by the CR. So I put that as a potential resolution for an easy one, but I also identified in this correction that we also have to address this 10 foot by 10 foot shed in issue 14B. That helps. Again, the issue of dog leashes doesn't, you know, our discussion centered around it not really being enforceable by the licensee. I think I brought up the point that it sort of conflicts with the town bylaws, and it's from the supplemental document. And again, I put that as a question as whether we reached consensus as a subcommittee on this. And then I suggested a potential resolution. So by any of this, I didn't mean to imply that we resolve these things. I just wanted to show this as an example of, you know, as we progress through these, we'll put a new slide up and we can use this as a working document. And I've also listed here 5 items noted as sort of typos, and mostly from Alex's comments on the document. But again, I don't want to lose track of fixing those things. And then comments received, again, we can edit these things, but you know, we've got a lot of comments and we need to recognize them and document them in some fashion, whether this is the right wording or not. TBD. That's all I have.
Wow, that's impressive.
Did I make it? No.
Yeah,
Did I make it in time?
yeah, because I gave you till 8:15. Well, I guess not. But very
So,
impressive.
Let me, I'll open it up for comments and questions. I've already got a couple, whether, you know, using that, I just ripped it off the town website. I just wanted the first page to have something on it. I get look good.
You don't have your own insignia? Or
Yeah, I don't have my own.
Is that your signature, that little red line?
That came from an AI suggestion, actually.
So, this is really great. Thanks. Doing all this. I agree with your comment on process. I don't think we need to spend a lot of time rehashing history here.
You don't want to talk about the porta potty anymore?
No, it doesn't help much. I mean, good to just kind of document a little bit. I think what you've done in here already is probably sufficient on the process side. I think, you know, since we started this process, a lot of things have moved on, some without us. And so on the non-technical issues, I think we need to discuss CCF's latest submittal as kind of, I mean, we need to resolve how that impacts us on this license. I think earlier rather than later, because that could be like a full stop. And I think also along those lines is Conscom's view of the management plan, which doesn't seem to be particularly favorable. And then I tried to, I don't know, have you heard from Grow Native as to the grant?
No, but she's in this call and we can get to her after we get to the public. But can I just slow you down 1 second?
Yeah.
Excuse me. So this hearing, tonight's meeting is to take public input. The next meeting is to take town board stakeholder input. It happens to be the night CCF is meeting. So should we right now plan a third meeting just with CCF to discuss with them?
Well, we can put it on an agenda.
Well, we don't have a third, you know, our meetings, they end on 2/9 just because we didn't go further. But as a point of order, should we schedule another meeting that's just for CCF? Because
Or schedule another meeting and leave it open as to who it may be for, including for us to work further on Chris's frame.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, you know, in one more meeting is gonna give us 14 pages of resolution, right? I think,
so should we schedule that? I'm just saying, should we schedule that right now and get it off the bar?
yeah, I guess I don't know, have I received that,
Received what?
the CCF sent us another letter?
CCF sent a letter to the, I think it was addressed to the board of select board.
Okay,
Um,
oops,
and
I'm sharing my screen, sorry about that.
I believe it was copied to Brian and Suki, yes?
Did you get,
I mean, I saw it,
Yeah.
but it was just copied to us. It wasn't sent to us. So do you want to pick a date like the 23rd, or do you want to go into March? To have another meeting?
I think,
We have one now and we have one the 9th.
I'm fine with the 23rd.
well, wait a minute, 23rd.
We got one set for the 23rd already.
Sorry?
There's one set for the 23rd already.
There is?
I will be. That's why,
You want to do the
when I miss
16th?
meetings, I don't have a calendar.
Oh, that's President's Day. I don't know if that's a legal holiday.
Oh, yeah. The following week is the week I'm in, England.
Okay.
Mhm.
Going to England?
I'm going to, yeah, for work to visit the King, sorry.
Okay.
The Queen's.
The conversation with the Queen is going to be very short.
So do you want to do March? I mean, I hate to drag this off forever. Do you want to do March 9th, or what do you want to do?
We have one on the, next Monday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And March 9th is a Monday.
Correct. Or we could do, I guess it doesn't have to be on a Monday. It could be Tuesday the 17th, which is the Lunar New Year. I don't know.
Is that
Year of the what?
February, you mean?
I'm sorry? In February.
Which month? Oh, February. That would probably work. We can set some tentative dates and I can give a better idea of schedule next week, which is, what is, the next one is the 12th,
9th.
yeah,
So I'm only trying to do this so that we can give enough notice to CCF.
that's fine,
Lateness.
yeah.
All right. So you're saying tentative, or you can do it?
Which meeting?
2/17.
Yeah, that sounds like, yes, I'm even physically here on the 17th,
Okay.
so
What about mental?
I don't have a lot of nighttime activities. Is it a Monday or what night is it?
That's a Tuesday.
I don't have any activities, any activities.
Well, that was amazing, Chris. Thank you.
Yeah, so I don't know, I mean, what's everybody's sense of understanding that it all may be moot, if there's a showstopper, what your point is, right?
Yeah.
But it's a sense of our committee here that this is a good way to proceed.
And based on our select board meeting, they certainly said right now it's status quo, keep going.
Okay.
And we are taking input, which we will share with the LSC and share it with Conscom, and, it could, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen, but we might as well let the data. Okay,
Can we ask those who listen what they think of this process? Is that?
sure.
I don't.
I mean, that's
Presume.
basically, it's opening it up to them anyway. That was the next part of the agenda.
Okay.
Anybody, can you stop sharing, Chris, on the?
I'm not sharing. I think it's, I'm just pinned somehow. I think if somebody else starts talking, they'll take over the screen.
Anybody want to start talking? See if it changes our screen?
I could. This is Sue.
There we go. Okay.
Did it change anything?
It did.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, sure. So Chris, I think this is great to have a one place consolidating all the concerns and having the links. That was really useful. That took some effort. I really appreciate that you did that. I'm sure it took quite a bit of time. And at the tail end, oh, well, I don't know. Are we supposed to comment on if we have something to add to that document?
Yeah, if you,
Well, you could either,
Appropriate
you
time?
you could be offering input on the document, but, the main thing here was so you could address your concerns. So you could have concerns with the document or our whole whatever.
yeah.
Oh, no,
I
it's
think
more,
if something's not there, or if it's,
Yeah.
you don't think it's captured, then yeah, that was kind of the point.
it's just clarification around best use. Or,
I'm sorry?
about a clarification about best use.
Best use. Oh, yes.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if we're going to follow through. There's a few things that, are we following through to find definitive reasons why, with facts and not feelings about the change of use, and the creation of a process going forward. I guess you're proposing this type of document is what you would do for change of use in the future, or no? Or is this just for
No,
Woodward?
so I think, if you don't mind, I answer that.
No, please.
Mr. Chairman. I think what I wanted to identify in the technical issues is those things that this committee can address. I think going forward about land use changes, how the LSC, moves on things. I think that's sort of a process issue. We've taken it up in the LSC about, that's still an open action, like how we go forward with these things in the future.
Okay.
I think what I've captured here is that there's nothing in the documents that shows that this was the best thing to do, or, what we're trying to do. So, I think the idea is to address these things the best we can. I don't know if we'll be able to everybody's satisfaction, but I think we should make our best efforts to do that.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Anything else? Sue, anything else from you?
Well, there is a lingering question I have. There was a meeting in this subcommittee meeting where you were talking about how the ag license got a little went awry, and someone had mentioned a particular person's name, and you said, well, we're going to have to look into that. I think Sylvia had shared that. I think you Brian said, oh, that's not the tone of this type of person's writing. And then Sylvia had shared, well, it's a template, and then a template can be modified. But as the chair, you had said, we're going to look into that. Are you still planning on looking into how that ag license was modified in the way that it was?
I would say no, because that's not the purpose of this subcommittee. We're not here to reconstruct all that. We're trying to move forward. And I don't know who wrote what parts of it. Unfortunately, Sylvia wasn't available for all of it. She was on medical leave back when it was Conscom stuff. So I don't even have all that history. So we're really not here to look back at that. I know you would. That's something you would really like to know about. I don't have that. We're trying to take information now, make our best decisions, present them to the LSC based on your input as abutters, which was tonight's meeting, whatever we can get out of the different various boards and CCF, and we'll see where that goes. So that's
Yeah,
the goal.
that makes sense, Brian. Probably it's an LSC issue. Probably not the subcommittee.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else from the public? Or Sylvia, do you want to address what she's talking about a mixed document? But I don't.
I recall the meeting, the discussion we had about, was this just, this is standard language or other language? And I think for the purposes of the document we have in hand, it's not, the one we're trying to correct, if you will, it's not an important issue. And there's a lot of, I may be one of the offenders as well, that we do get sidetracked a bit from time to time. I freely admit that. And I think what I'm trying to do here is focus on the task at hand. And I do think that is sort of a process issue that we kind of got a little sidetracked on. And, and it's involving the history. And I think we need to try to look forward. I think the history is important. So, the mistakes, we don't make the same mistakes again. But I don't know that it's the best use of our time at this point.
I think if we have legal review at the end, I think that does fix that problem.
Okay.
Thank you. And that's on your list, Chris. Thank you.
If you want input from me, I will say that I agree that you need to move forward at this point. You can't look back.
Does anybody else? Does you have anything else? Whoop, okay, bye, Sylvia. Does anybody else have any input they'd like to share? I see some people here I don't even know, so if you want to introduce yourselves or say anything, that'd be great. No? Well, if there isn't any more public comment, you had a question for Heather.
Yeah, I understood that the grant decisions were going to be issued by the end of last week, and I don't know if you've heard or not.
Hello. Greetings from my kitchen. I got an email this morning from the Department of Fisheries, and they got so many applications, they're postponing their decision to early March. So no, I have not heard anything, unfortunately.
Thanks for that clarification. Rumors are not true. So we can say you haven't received the grant yet.
Yet, exactly.
Well, that's good news and bad news, right? The good news is they haven't made a negative decision. The bad news is you're facing a lot of competition.
Facing a lot of competition and a contracted amount of time that we can apparently, like this grant, whoever gets it, and many people will, it's a large amount of money and they're able to fund a lot of different projects, but whoever is granted funding from this biodiversity grant will have to spend it all by the end of June. And I did respond to their announcement this morning with the question of if the decision is postponed by a month, do grant awardees get an additional month to spend the funding? They haven't responded to me yet. That happens a lot, but yeah, it does mean everything that is funded by that grant has to happen a lot faster.
Do you know how much the total amount of money they have available is?
Oh, the total amount, I can't tell you that, but it's more than $1 million. It's a lot of money. But I think but like in the in the process of applying, like in the circles of conservation, so I'm sure most of you heard about this grant because like everybody I knew was applying for it. Like I'm not surprised that they got more. I'm surprised that they're surprised at how many applications they got.
Well, I did see an article that they had issued about 350,000 in awards, mostly targeted to the western part of the state.
Well, I don't know if that's the
So
same
some-
grant. That sounds like it might be something different.
I was just wondering if somebody had some political pull over in Springfield or something.
You know, I did the same thing. I went looking, see if I could find the results of grants for restoration grants and things like that. And there's a lot of places they issue grants. I was surprised, like I couldn't hone in on any particular one. It seemed like there were just a lot of organizations that it's a note to the land stewards that money's available. It sounds like this is what they call I forget when it was. We were injecting something. When we need to inject money into the economy, they look for shovel-ready projects, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they want you to spend it and get it going quickly.
Well, thank you, Heather. Thanks for the info.
Welcome.
Is there anything else you want to share with us tonight, Heather?
Well, just initially, the date that you set for the meeting in March, I definitely can't attend anything any evening that week. So hopefully I'm not critically needed for that meeting.
What about the 17th of February?
No, that's what she's saying she can't do.
Oh, I thought it was March.
Oh, no.
February 17th.
February 17th is also not possible. I will be out of the country.
All right, so should we pick a different date? Because CCF may have some questions
But
for us.
my question also further to that is, I also know that my colleague Miles, who's the head of Parterre Ecological, he's very interested in making a presentation about our management plans, not just the next 6 months, but like our overarching view to the ecology in the meadow. And I didn't know to whom he would be able to make that or when, but I thought I'd put that to the group and perhaps he would be able to, I don't know what his availability is, but perhaps he would be able to attend the meeting in my place.
Well, we'd appreciate it if you would ask his availability.
Do you want to start that conversation with any suggested dates?
Yeah, the 17th, because
Yeah.
I already wrote it down.
Yeah, 17th of February. Okay, I will ask him. In fact, I can try texting him now, but I don't know if he's gonna respond. But and so that's yeah, no, that's all I had on my list right here to add to the conversation right now.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Anybody else from the public have anything to say? Going once, going twice? I don't know. Melissa, did you have anything to say?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Just, I think we're well down our agenda here. Maybe for future meetings that we could put some resolution discussion on some of the issues identified. And so if we,
Wouldn't
Like
that
in
be
the-
nice
on
to
the
cross
12
off the list?
So, yeah, I mean, if in a moment time, we don't get a lot of additional comments, then we can pull up this document and start chipping away at it. That's, where we want to go.
Sounds great, and I certainly really appreciate that you pulled it all together because
It was, like all of these things, it was cooking around in my head for quite a while. And then, then a mad rush to put it on paper. So there's some typos. But so basically, in accordance with this document, I'll PDF what I presented tonight,
yeah,
and I'll send it to you. You can put it on the
town website.
on our meeting packets, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep, put it on the meeting packets. And then I guess what I'll ask as well is from other members, if you see any issues, you want to change wording, just be prepared. What we can do is we'll I don't have any changes except maybe fixing the numbering.
You said there were some typos, you thought?
Yeah, I had one typo on the numbering, I have 2 number 11s, which I don't need. So this is the original issue. Any changes, like I said, I'm not gonna touch the document, I'll PDF it. And this will be what's on our meeting packets for tonight. And then any changes we make after that, if people, I'll put on track changes. We'll have change bars in here. So the next one will be sort of Rev 1. If we have time to work on it next meeting.
So
We'll
how
open up
do
an
we
issue.
get that if it's a PDF versus? If we
Well, I mean,
want-
I also have, I'll keep what I make a PDF of, I'll put, if we sit here at the meeting and add things to the document, that would be revision 2.
Okay,
So we'll start the meeting with revision 1, which will be, well, I guess I don't have any changes to make, so I'm happy to start the meeting with this one next time. I'll fix the numbering at that point. And then, so whatever we finish with, we'll save it as Rev 2.
okay.
Right, so we'll start a meeting with Rev 1. We'll finish with our discussions at Rev 2. Does that sound fair,
Yeah.
everybody?
And I just need to point out, just because of open meeting law, when you share that with us, we shouldn't be giving you feedback or discussing.
I almost said, send me your comments, but then,
Yeah.
I mean, I think,
It would be handy
I
if you
think
could send.
individuals,
comments
if
when we can,
if you have a location for some of these documents, they could send them to you, could load them on the meeting documents.
But then I need to give that feedback back to you, because it's a link.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't just describe it.
Yeah.
But is that a violation of open meeting law?
I think if you put it in there, you just tell me it's in there, right? Then I'm just updating to be prepared for the next meeting.
But if we individual committee members have comments that, we'd like to discuss at the next meeting, we can all channel that through you so that they become part of the meeting packet. But that I don't think violates the open meeting law.
Okay.
It's very, there's this line somewhere between, providing a document.
This line here?
Yeah, well, providing a document for review at a meeting and deliberating. I mean, it's just, there's no other way to do it, so.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think what I would try to do with this is, we discussed earlier, is actually to then take the license document itself and start, proposing, actually drafting the fixes to some of these technical issues, which, I think a lot of them are pretty straightforward.
And just to clarify, Did you ever go to town council?
No, because I think that the technical issues, if you correct the fact that it's Conservation Commission and not the LSC, that is the licensor, it takes care of a lot of the rest of it. Because Conscom is going to have to sign off on it. And then why do we have to worry about whether it's LSC or Conscom when that's the authority? We don't. So I think some of that just goes away. The license versus lease issue, the 5-year issue, I've taken a bit of a look at it. I'm not concerned about that anymore. So long as it remains revocable at will, it's a license.
Yeah.
And the 5 years is somebody's arbitrary rule. I think better practice is 3 years, but I think we're okay on that.
Yeah, that was a Conscom. I don't even know why we did that, but we made everything but corn 5 years. And we lowered corn to 1 year.
I think the 5 years was to give the farmers some assurance that if they made investments in property, that they would reap the benefits.
Even though we could take it away in 30 days, right?
I mean, you can take it away. It doesn't mean necessarily it's a good thing to do.
You also had issues like, I remember in your document in one place it said, must be mowed, should be grazed. In another place it said, or seeds or flowers. I remember like there are some discrepancies in that CR.
Well, that's, those are issues they raised, but they're not the issues that CCF had to make a determination on. And I think their letter, which you haven't seen, it's fairly clear that their view is that the license violates the CR.
That's not something we didn't already know. I mean, there were a number of pieces of it that violate the CR.
No, but the difference is, you and I can sit here and debate whether it does or doesn't, but ultimately, if CCF makes the determination that it does, then you have a significant.
I mean, we knew there were technical. I mean, we documented the technical issues with the license.
So that's why I'm talking about.
Did they give us? I haven't seen the letter. Is that something we can put on our meeting packet site for next time?
Yeah.
Chris, I think it's on the select board meeting packets.
It's on select board meeting packets?
Yeah.
But we
You
should
can-
have it in our
You can
own
see all the letters in their meeting packets from that last meeting.
And Alex, you weren't here, but they said that other than the MBTA, this has been the most letters that the select board has received.
Boy.
I'm sure they were that.
So anything else to be done tonight? And not, Chris, I will make sure you get that.
Okay.
That letter.
Well, actually, so there is also the Pony Club. The Pony Club was about FOSS.
Was.
Yeah.
I thought you said the Barney Club.
No.
That was like, wait.
There was a Pony Club letter, but that was about FOSS, right?
I haven't seen that
I
either.
will apologize to folks on the, I had hard copies for guests who showed up in person. But what, if I can email you the PDF of this.
Yep.
Can we ask that go on tonight's meeting
Absolutely.
package quickly so folks can go back to that? As soon as you can, I don't know.
Well, tomorrow, but is that
I think it,
kosher if the meeting's already,
I think it's,
How was the document considered at the meeting?
yeah,
Alright.
it's part of this meeting, so.
and the same with the meeting minutes that were approved.
Well, we didn't approve any tonight.
No, we had already approved,
Yeah. I need to get, I didn't, I am still unsure of the process to
of
get the
what?
approved minutes posted. Can you tell me where they go? When the we approve minutes and we have to send them to get posted
Yeah,
on the town
I
website.
would give them to Noel. And that might not be right, so I have to find out, maybe they really
I thought
do
it
it
was
with
the
town clerk.
clerk. Suki said the clerk last time.
But I give everything to Noel so that it ends up in the conscom files. And then things sometimes do and sometimes don't get forwarded. I actually generally now I've been copying, I might send it to Ashley with a copy to Noel and a copy to,
Do you send them a PDF of the minutes or do you send them a?
I haven't sent them any minutes, but I would send a PDF because theoretically you don't want someone to alter it, although these days you can take a PDF and put it back into Word and do whatever you want.
Yeah. Do you mind if I send you the minutes that we've approved as well?
No, I don't mind at all.
And then make sure it gets to the town.
I don't know.
I don't know everybody in the town hall as well.
I don't know if it's specific to us, but one of the select board members said she found 15 violations of the open meeting law. I don't know if they were all LSC or LSC subcommittee. And she said each one could be fined $1,000, so that'd be $15,000.
We'll put it bent in our budget.
So let's do a GoFundMe. But I obviously would like to find out what those are and patch the holes if we've done something wrong.
Yeah, I can't remember if it's whichever comes first or later. It's either 2 meetings or 60 days. It's probably whichever comes first, I guess. So if it's whichever comes first, yeah,
We're late on this.
we're screwed.
We're late on the November one.
Yeah.
But
It's to get it posted. I mean, they were approved, they're just not posted, which
right.
doesn't do anybody any.
And then the argument was made that things don't have to be posted, they can be made available. So if somebody did a document request and they wanted this meeting minutes, we have to provide them.
Yep.
But we don't necessarily have to post them. So I'm actually getting a little confused on, I keep reposting things that I feel like are just filling up the town server because it's in there 6 times. But I don't want it not to be in there.
I don't have anything else.
How about a motion to adjourn?
Do we want to, so we're gonna put on continuation of issue resolutions or something on the next week's agenda, just in case we have extra time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that document will just carry forward and, Rev 1, Rev 2, Rev 3 as we
Okay.
go along. And I don't know if all the town boards are gonna give us a lot of input. I mean, we really need the CCF input and we're not gonna have them. So I don't know if the select board or Board of Health or anybody else is gonna have a lot to say.
Okay. Motion to adjourn, or no?
So you want me to do the minutes for this meeting? Is that what you're?
I was hinting at it before.
I will
Whereas
do the minutes for this meeting.
I would
In French
appreciate
or in English?
Well, Google Translate is really great, so I can give it to you in both.
Yeah.
Somebody has to remind me how to access the recording.
I will send you the recording. Well, I'll send you a link and then below the link is a password.
Yeah, it's not a question of me not being willing, just
No, no,
finding the time.
no,
I'm 2 sets of minutes behind.
Well, and you did so much here.
No. Fair is fair.
Appreciate that. Now I'll motion to adjourn.
So we can do a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
8:20.
That's great that you did that in the recording. You didn't do it for my other recordings.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you.